Breanna and Breanna Stewart actually talking about the loss, what happened, things like that. People are loving what Sabrina said about Caitlin Clark and just showing love.
I'm so happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
The reigning champs, the New York Liberty, just got steamrolled by Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. What followed was pure gold for basketball fans. Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart marched up to the post-game mic after a 14-point loss, looking like they'd just lived through a Caitlin Clark highlight reel, because they had. But instead of dodging questions or blaming refs, they did something that stunned everyone watching. Their brutally honest take on Clark's dominance shut down any lingering debate about who's really setting the standard in this league. The word undeniable exists for a reason, and it applies to Caitlin Clark. She steps onto that court, and, just in the first quarter, she made 3 threes in 38 seconds. She is just absolutely undeniable. Caitlin Clark was just different. Caitlin Clark is the sister. Caitlin Clark is the generational talent we've needed. She is the sister. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever. Let's rewind and set the scene. The New York Liberty came in flashing their championship rings, still undefeated, and riding high. On paper, this was supposed to be a routine win against an Indiana squad that had just survived 5 games without its superstar. The Fever were expected to compete, not dismantle. But the moment Caitlin Clark returned to the floor, it was game over. She dropped 32 points, handed out 7 assists, and put together a personal mixtape of jaw-dropping moments that probably deserves its own ESPN 30 for 30. Even as Cunningham went down behind the play, Caitlin fired away from 2 players with incredible up-ball movement and nailed another long 3. She was back, but the real twist came after the final buzzer. Instead of brushing it off or hiding behind cliches, Sabrina and Stewie gave Caitlin the flowers she absolutely earned. They didn't flinch. They didn't deflect. They acknowledged reality. Like we go on runs, they do as well. They're a great team. So I don't think it's defeating. I think obviously we know what a great shooter she is, and I think we just gave her too many easy ones. Obviously, she has great range, and her ability to get her shot off is really impressive, especially with missing some games. And so, obviously on a personal level, I'm really happy to see her back out on the court healthy, feeling good. 'Cause obviously it's important for them. When asked how Clark looked after her injury break, Sabrina didn't hold back. She praised Caitlin's range, her poise under pressure, and her ability to get clean looks against tight coverage. That's not fake humility or media training. That's one elite shooter giving props to another. And it didn't stop there. Sabrina went full human, even saying she was happy to see Clark back healthy, not just for Indiana, but for Caitlin herself. That kind of comment isn't what you say about someone you view as a media darling. That's what you say about a legit peer. As Caitlin Clark put on a show that only she can in leading the team to a win over the New York Liberty, she hit logo bombs, 3 of them in 38 seconds. Just gorgeous. What hit hardest, though, was Sabrina's admission that they gave Caitlin way too many open looks. Let that sink in. This is Sabrina Ionescu, a walking 3-point clinic, admitting that Caitlin's range is a problem even when you think you've closed the gap. When someone with Sabrina's resume tells you Clark's jumper is automatic with even a sliver of daylight, you believe her, because she knows exactly what it takes to hit from the parking lot. Caitlin Clark is the best basketball player in the world. She's the best basketball player that I have ever seen. She is the difference maker. She is the needle mover. She is the face of basketball right now. Comments poured in. I am 100% Fever, but first team I have watched with class this year other than my Fever. Great game, ladies. I love the sportsmanship. May you have a great season. Now, Breanna Stewart. She played it cool, but she didn't sugarcoat anything either. This is a 2-time MVP, a champion, someone who could have easily redirected blame or nitpicked officiating. But she didn't. Instead, Stewie acknowledged what everyone saw. They were outplayed. And not by luck, not by fluke, by a team with a better plan, better execution, and one very dangerous weapon. Individually, I think just making better reads off the switches, they made it really difficult because there was just constantly somebody there and trying to find an opening to get downhill or to find somebody else. And then collectively, our defense, I think we should take pride in that a little bit more. and they had like 53 at half and finished with 102. So, it doesn't really seem like we were guarding much. Breanna Stewart was giving her a lot of space. She shoots it from the logo. She drills it. And right afterwards, all Stewart could do was kind of laugh about it. That moment, Clark hits a logo 3 in Stewart's face. And what does Stewie do? She smiles. That's not defeat. That's recognition. That's what greatness respecting greatness looks like. She didn't pout. She didn't roll her eyes. She grinned because she knew she just witnessed something special, even if it came at her own expense. Those defensive breakdowns Stewie talked about weren't just lapses. They were the result of Clark's magnetic force on the court. When one player can pull up from 35 feet and make it look like a layup, your defensive scheme falls apart before it even sets up. The Liberty got pulled in all directions trying to stop Caitlin, and in the chaos, Indiana's shooters ate them alive. I mean, it's not defeating. Basketball's a game of runs, and the same way we go on runs, they do as well. They're a great team, so I don't think it's defeating. Obviously, we know what a great shooter she is, and I think we just gave her too many easy ones. What made this post-game moment stand out even more was the total lack of ego. The media keeps trying to stir up fake beef between Clark and WNBA veterans, but instead of feeding that machine, Ionescu and Stewart did the opposite. They shut down the noise. They told the truth, and the numbers backed them up. The Fever shot lights out from deep, and it wasn't because the basketball gods were feeling generous. It was because Clark drew so much attention that her teammates were getting practice-level shots. Stewart also admitted something telling, that they overexerted their starters trying to keep up with Indiana's offense. And that's not just a coaching issue. That's psychological warfare. That's the Clark effect. She shifts the tempo, pulls the defense out of shape, and forces teams to abandon their rhythm just to stay in the race. That's what stars do. That's what leaders do. That's what MVPs in the making do. Yeah, look, obviously, we had to rely on these two players here, and we didn't get to the rim. Early in the game, we did. I think we had about 32 points in the paint in the first half, and we didn't get as wide many open ones as we did in the second half. And that's on the coaching staff. We got to make it a little bit easier for them in that regard. But, you know, they're switching. They're